our core artists, which should promote the Afrobeats genre, they are now being swallowed by the cannibalism of Amapiano.
Final question. Do you think Amapiano has been cannibalizing on Afrobeats and therefore reducing the influence of Afrobeat globally?
Amapiano has been cannibalizing on Afrobeat, eating Afrobeat raw. We're talking about Rema HEIS. We have just established the fact that it is not a new sound. It is a reset of what we already knew as Afrobeats. Afrobeats was now attacked. Something happened along the line, and it is getting to the roots. Big ups to the Grammy Awards who released a list called Afrobeat songs. Thank God that there were names that were not mentioned.
They were omitted. Tyla was omitted. Burna Boy omitted. Davido omitted.
These are the people aiding the cannibalism of Afrobeat.
I'm supposed to relocate, but I go buy Delta. My money now, I apply pressure. Hey. But you must employ OT.
No, use your head.
Guys, welcome back. It is Music Man rocking the airwaves. Courtesy of Blaze 91.5 FM. My name is Soundfreak.
And of course, my name is Sugarken.
Well, it's 11:21 right now. That's Sugarken. Today, of course, it remains the 7th of the month of July. We have a lot of things happening in Nigeria. Don't forget, guys, we are live on Facebook right now, so go be a part of the family. Big ups to Finish, doing amazingly well for us. I'm looking sharp. Now this hair cap, me I go take.
Now this cap,
Gucci.
Now billionaire's cap.
This is Gucci.
Cap everywhere get money they wear.
Abi, you already tell them about the black talk. I know the carry they don't like shopping.
Normally.
So I think I might take a shopping Phoenix. No. Welcome back, guys. So there's this thing we're going to be talking about. Of course, you guys know Amaarae. She's a Ghanaian music star. She's charted big songs on big charts across not just Nigeria but across the globe right now. If you guys remember her song "Sad Girls Love Money," it went on the Afrobeat US chart, and stayed there for quite a while. She's come out to claim that the global momentum of Afrobeat has stalled. Basically, it has slowed down. Now, she explained that Afrobeats and African music in general needs to evolve, adding that some artists have made so much money from a certain sound to the point where they are afraid of experimenting with new sounds. Let's take the point that she's mentioned before we go further. First of all, she says it needs to evolve. That's number one. And secondly, she says that we should experiment with new sounds. So her idea of evolution of Afrobeat is to experiment with new sounds, which is lovely, and it's what some persons are already doing. Someone like Ruga brought Brazilian funk on Toma Toma featuring Tiwa Savage, and she also said Afrobeat music needs to evolve. It needs to evolve in a direction that is fearless, and I think right now artists have made so much money from a certain type of sound that they're afraid to step out of the boundaries because they are probably more focused on financial aspects of it. And as a result, I think Afrobeat has stalled. One of my favorite albums last year was Rema HEIS. That's what I consider the evolution of Afrobeat. You see how it moved the genre and the culture forward, and you see how it moved his career forward. There have been a lot of people that have big hits that aren't willing to push the boundaries of the music, and as a result, Afrobeat is in a bit of a slowing down. So this is her thoughts, and sometimes this is why they need to come back home and interact with the thought leaders like ourselves, in Nigeria and Ghana, so that you can be refreshed on what's really the thing. So first, she wants Afrobeat to evolve, and she wants Afrobeat to experiment with new sounds, and she thinks that Rema's album HEIS is simply experimenting with new sounds and evolving. Meanwhile, I appreciate her input. I appreciate this is like one of the first superstars to even talk about this, to address the fact that Afrobeat has slowed down. I've been saying it today, it has slowed down. People think it's growing. There are so many reasons. One is what the one she should discuss. Before I let Sugarken come in, first of all, Rema's album was a reset to what should be the status quo of Afrobeat. Remember back then when no song from anywhere in the world could come and compete with a Don Jazzy production.
Of course.
Once it's tweeted that this is the death of Amapiano. So, and he has granted interviews saying that he wants Nigerian music and music stars to go back to that time where we had fast tempo songs that could be played in the club, because you enter the club right now, it's Amapiano. How about our original sound? So she was trying to maintain the core of Afrobeat while also adding, a newer flair to it. So not just going and doing a new sound. So what Rema did, first of all, Amaarae, is not a new sound, but a reset to the proper.
It's complicated for her. I think she really needs to understand the Afrobeats genre as Afrobeats as it is. Because when you come out to say the album that brought out the real Afrobeat or the sound, talking about Rema HEIS, we have just established the fact that it is not a new sound. It is a reset, of what we already knew as Afrobeats. You understand? So I don't think she is right. The Afrobeat genre is massive.
All right. So you answered the questions in a stretch. I have another question for you. Basically, I would like to know who is responsible for slowing down the genre? Artists, labels, or fans? Also, is Amapiano's rising influence cannibalizing Afrobeat's global appeal? 2 questions. All
right, so I'll answer the very first question, which is who's responsible for slowing down the Afrobeat. According to Amaarae, which says it is being stalled. Who's responsible for that? You made mention artists, the audience, or
labels.
The labels. All right, so I would start by saying that the artists in connection with the label, have tried so hard to stall the growth of Afrobeats, to stall Afrobeats, because you look at it, when we started, it was Nigerian music. We started Nigerian music, and then it became Afrobeats. And we know Afrobeat as a sound that is very peculiar. If you hear Afrobeat, you can tell. If you hear Nigerian, okay, let me not start from Afrobeat. If you hear Nigerian music, you can tell that this is Nigerian music. You go to clubs, you can tell the banging sound. You go know. You understand? So when we had Afrobeats now, we could still tell, but something happened along the line. Something happened along the line. Now, Afrobeats was now attacked.
Who attacked
Afrobeat was now attacked
by
some persons who wanted to impress people. When we had the South Africans come out with Amapiano, their sound was amazing. So we wanted to explore Amapiano. We started doing, some of our artists started doing Amapiano. You understand?
I started mixing it with
no, they started doing Amapiano. And at first, then they started mixing it later. Started mixing Amapiano, and then when you got to mix something, you don't mix, can't forget, say this thing no get the same flavor as it did before. So they now forgot, they now became used to it. And it now made them no longer Afrobeats artists. They now became Amapiano artists.
Without them even knowing.
Without them even knowing this. And then when you ask them questions, globally and all, they tend to now be confused and rename or say whatever they want to say,
because they are lost in the mixture.
So you could see trying to experiment or trying to explore other sounds. If you are not careful,
you can get lost
in the mix. So I would say that the label, even the label say, well, yeah, I go, okay, this song, label, you want to impress, you want to do collaborations, international acts and all that.
I remember that Rema said that the label did not want him to release his.
You see?
Because they believe that the one that is now more appealing is the slow R&B.
You see?
The R&B-ish Afrobeat.
Because you feel it is appealing to the international audience.
So how about we take care of what is our own?
Good.
So you see the label also played
the label. Good. That's why I said the label and the artist.
And he almost left the label because of that. He insisted that he wants to drop. And now this is the album that has taken him so far, and has brought the culture further.
And now, when the label comes to play with the artist, trying to make something appealing to the international audience, you now force your listeners to be confused on what they even want to listen to.
Right?
Yes, because you now force it down their throats. And for people who don't know what Afrobeat is, you will now begin to call an Amapiano song an Afrobeat song.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You begin to put your audience, your listeners in a dilemma where to be confused on whether this is Amapiano.
And the new kids don't even care what they're dancing to. They just want to dance.
They don't just want to dance. They don't know.
They just want to dance.
And then you will now, everybody now start to realize, oh, it's Amapiano, it's Amapiano, whatever it is. You can't tell anymore.
Yeah.
Because of this so-called mixture.
Niniola even said that she doesn't want to get signed to a label because they have a way of influencing your sound. Because they're the ones sponsoring you. So she wants to not sign to any label.
Remain where you are.
So that she can do her Afro house music.
Simple.
So to the final question, do you think Amapiano has been cannibalizing on Afrobeats and therefore reducing the influence of Afrobeat globally?
Actually, the listener, if you have been listening to me, then you can tell that this is true. To this third question, and Amapiano has been cannibalizing on Afrobeat, eating Afrobeat raw. Eating Afrobeat raw. Please, are you getting what I'm saying? Eating Afrobeat raw.
Hey!
And it is getting to the roots where even our core artists, which should promote the Afrobeats genre, they are now being swallowed by the cannibalism of Amapiano.
Yes.
They are being swallowed by the cannibalism of Amapiano. Hence, you hear someone like Davido come out to say he's not an Afrobeat artist. He tries to say Afrobeat artist, nothing like Afrobeat. What he does is whatever.
He even promotes Amapiano more.
Yeah, he promotes Amapiano.
Because it's not popular.
Because it's not popular.
So, if one day Amapiano becomes unpopular,
he runs. Everybody go japa. You will decamp.
So, nobody has the morality to stay with what is true.
Stay with what is true. Big ups to the Grammy Awards, the organizers who released
a list
of 10 songs, core Afrobeat songs, from the early 2000s, early 1990s to the early 2000s. Yeah. You could see the list. Yeah. We had a lot of persons in that list. You could tell that these people are Afrobeat artists. Yeah. Thank God that there were names that were not mentioned.
They were omitted.
They were omitted because
Tyla was omitted.
Burna
Boy omitted.
Good.
Davido omitted.
These are the people aiding the cannibalism of Afrobeats.
Yes, I agree with you. These are the names aiding the cannibalism of Afrobeats as sponsored by Amapiano.
Definitely.
And well, that's the much we can take on this. What do you guys have to say on this? Do you even realize that there's a difference between Amapiano and Afrobeats? Do you even know that they have given birth to a new sound, Afropiano. A mixture of Amapiano
and Afrobeats.
And I've always said that songs like Davido's Unavailable is not Afrobeat. Davido's Unavailable is not Afrobeat. It is Afropiano. Songs like Tyla's Water is not Afrobeat. It is Afropiano. Anything way they because even they call South African guys that do house music that houses Amapiano do not accept these songs as Amapiano because they know the real Amapiano. Definitely. For example, you cannot call Party Rankings available, yeah. Afrobeats. No, it is a South African house music that's called Jigom. We've been talking about this for a long time. So it is high time we get to begin to understand that Afrobeats is not a shift. See, if you call somebody a shapeshifter, you're not giving that person credit. No. You are saying that person is basically a spy. He doesn't stay true to one thing. If today this one favors him, he runs to this one. So Afrobeat is not a shapeshifter. We have been benevolent enough to accept, and crossbreed with other genres. And now people want to come take the credit. Afrobeat has a core sound. Definitely. If you listen to something, what Timaya does. Thank God to guys like Timaya. Thank God, though. Guys like Ayra Starr. Guys like Rema.
Guys like Tekno.
Oh my God!
Guys like Tekno.
Oh my God! I was watching a video last night, done by Solid Star. Clear the road for Super Eagles. Yeah, clear the road for Super Eagles. Super Eagles all the way. And you know what I saw? I saw Inyanya. I saw Tekno in that video. That was when we had brotherhood. People can just come and appear in your video.
I'm telling you, come and appear in your video.
Not everything be science split shit, commercialize everything. How about brotherly love? Come on, man. That is what makes this thing safe for a long time. So we give kudos to guys like Kizz Daniel that have been maintaining the sound. They intentionally refuse to do Amapiano.
To follow the crowd.
You get me? Although Simi has bent now to do something Amapiano-ish. But hopefully, these things we are saying right now can get to the international audience. And one day, the people that have been with us throughout this time on Blaze FM, supporting us and understanding with us, you also be a part of this, taking the glory for supporting the core relevance and sustenance of what we have as Afrobeat. It has made so much money for you young boys that we don't even understand.
We don't understand.
Boys are now millionaires in dollars.
Of course.
So we are praying that as we safeguard this root of music called Afrobeat, that it can also be a blessing to Nigeria.
Definitely.
In terms of GDP, in terms of commerce and everything. And I'm also advising and wishing that our governors can also build world-class arenas, so that people can also come from Brazil and perform in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You see, our Nigerian government is collaborating with the Brazilian government,
of course,
right now.
Yeah.
So how about we open our doors for them to also invest in entertainment?
Yes.
Not be everything be agriculture. Since 1900, they don't invest for agriculture. We don't see the benefits. Let's also invest in entertainment. And one way we can invest is to build world-class arenas. Invest in security, because if there is no security, me Soundfreak, I'll not come out.
I'll go concerts now. I'll go shows.
I'll not go anywhere. Me for night when there's security, no.
So yes, no.
Invest in entertainment, invest in security, and invest in the people. And trust me, you can make Nigeria a better place, courtesy of entertainment. Where other things coming on Music Mark? Thank you very much, Sugarken. Lovely, amazingly well. Where other things coming, of course, we're going to be diving into our social media gist. But stay glued to this arena that makes sure you are properly entertained. And we call it Music Mark. My name is Soundfreak.
And my name is Sugarken.